Anime has a problem, and it's not just a small problem. Take a look at just one example. Tens of thousands of people are celebrating the doxing of Chibi Reviews, and not just his personal location, but also his deceased brother's grave. And that's all over anime. But despite this being a large problem, the attacks can be seen from a smaller group of people. Anime has a per capita problem.
I started thinking to myself, man, what did he do to make them niggas that mad?
Yo, update as I'm making this video, the Chibi Review situation has turned even worse than we thought. A couple of Anons have hacked into his old accounts and started posting actual illegal CSAM material. The M stands for material. But this went from arguing over anime, drawn cartoons animated from Japan, entertainment, media, into full-blown criminal activity. The story starts a couple days ago when Chibi Reviews, a popular anime influencer, I'm just going to call him that, YouTuber, Twitterer, Xer, whatever, posts a scene from the currently airing anime Dandadan. He states, "The animators didn't need to go so hard for this scene." Now, I haven't seen the scene, I haven't seen Dandadan yet, so I'm not going to play it. I'm still watching some stuff from the last season, like Monogatari, etc. But I'm going to assume the animators went pretty hard because I've seen the opening and it looks pretty good. And also, I trust them. It probably looks good. But the scene is depicting of a young woman getting I'm not sure exactly what's happening, to be honest, but it seems to be in a very unfortunate scenario, probably something very explicit going on. However, we have to note that despite whatever depictions are happening on the screen, no humans were harmed in the making of this video. But unfortunately, Twitter had to disagree, and they decided that they had to break the Geneva Conventions for this one. Someone comments, "Tell me your address and I'll send you the nuke," and then OP responds with a clip of LeBron James. For those that are unaware of the NBA, basketball, LeBron is the GOAT, aka the greatest, so this is such a great idea. Russia, they might nuke the Middle East. No. Putin, we got a new target. Priority, send it to Chibi's house, okay? Like, when Oppenheimer, they made the nuke, they used it to end the World War II, dropped them in Japan. He would never in a million years would Oppenheimer think to himself that in a couple decades, the nuclear weapons were going to be used to stop the war on anime gooners. That's right, the anime gooners, they would learn their lesson. Of course, this is all just jokes, or so we would like to believe, but with all things on the internet, it started to escalate. Somehow the hate kept rolling up into a bigger snowball, and eventually Chibi posted that they leaked actual pictures of my house and brother's grave, so I don't feel safe right now. We live in certainly absolute clown world, but that would be a disservice to the clowns because they know they're putting on an act. These people, they're serious, or they have Dunning-Kruger or something. I don't know. Anyways, to go as far as to leak not just his address and his house, but his actual, deceased brother, that is some actual disrespect. What does his brother have anything to do with any of this? Come on, guys. Remember, guys, this is an anime. No humans were harmed in the making of this video, except, maybe some Filipino getting paid 1 cent an hour to draw a couple in-between frames. Well, that's another story. Chibi Reviews then responded with a video saying that he had filed a report and would be pursuing legal action, and if needed, let's just say he might be exercising his United States Second Amendment rights. Now, you'd think this might knock people back to their senses, or maybe this might fan the flames more, and of course, knowing these types of fans, it fanned the flames more. Near 20,000 people liked this post celebrating the doxing of Chibi. F your Roricon fans and dead brother Nick. First of all, what's with this video of some dude that, I don't know, this must be in their language that I don't understand, but this is their part of their communication. Next of all, what does his Lolicon fans have to do with anything? And next of all, What does his dead brother have to do with anything? And despite nothing making sense, 20,000 people agreed with this message. I literally could not understand how these responses could exist. I mean, I actually literally couldn't understand some of these responses. Like, take a look at this. How niggas be when you up poll? When you up poll? What does that even mean? Like, what language is this? Speak English. Like, what? Okay, either this person's like from some third world country, or they just I don't even know. They have the IQ of like a so I couldn't understand this language at all. But, after looking at a couple more of these tweets, I began to see a shared language. I was starting to put things together. Behind all the basketball and the rap music, I saw a very dark pattern. Chibi then posts proof that it was actually a smaller subgroup of anime fans, namely some of the Boruto community, that had doxed him. Boruto is part of the shonen demographic, which is the younger male audience. But I noticed a larger overarching pattern. You see, it wasn't just Boruto, it was other shonen fans, right? And let's just call that the dark pattern. The shonen fans, quote unquote, or whatever you want to call it, because it's not just the shonen fans. Let's be real, it's actually the battle shonen. Because, let's be real, these people, they're not watching things like Horimiya. They're not rocking the Dress Up Darling, or the Bochi the Rock, the K-On. Okay, those are seinen, but you get the point. These are people that are like Boruto, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, Bleach sometimes. It's a little too old for some of them, so I guess that some of them don't know about Bleach. My Hero, Demon Slayer, etc. Now, if I was studying sociology, I would ask myself, some people say, does fiction affect reality? But what if your reality affects your taste in fiction? Which, I mean, obviously it does. But I would say, maybe these people, clearly they have, a propensity towards aggression, right? So maybe these people are part of a demographic with higher, per capita basis. They are more prone to appearing on statistics that would indicate that they have higher levels of aggression. Let's just put it at that. On top of the higher levels of aggression, I believe that this group of individuals also have a higher level of I can't say that, but they have a lower level of intelligence. Now, I'm not saying that all battle shonen fans are, let's just say, mentally slow, but I realize that they lack some basic pattern recognition, Because even earlier, Chibi Reviews posted a manga panel from Dandadan saying, how do you think Twitter will react to this being animated? And of course, we know what happened when Dandadan was actually animated. But of course, during that moment, the people that are now essentially glad that he got doxxed stated things like, the only reaction Twitter needs to be worried about for this scene is yours. Well, that turned out to be false. Of course, you could block him and move on with your day. You don't have to interact with everything you see online, but these people, they get offended. You see, they think this is essentially illegal CSAM material. Now, I don't think they're actually that stupid. They're pretty dumb, but they're not that stupid. I think what they truly think is they look at a picture of an anime girl, and they're like, nah, this shit weird as hell, dog. This shit radiating Diddy particle. They'll be thinking nah, Chibi going to the Diddy party, bruh. Now, if you ask me why they're relating Drake, Diddy, Epstein to fictional characters, I don't know, beats me, but I guarantee you that's what they're thinking. Now take a look at this tweet with over 40,000 likes. How do you think Twitter would react when your hard drive gets leaked? So they're basically implying that Chibi Reviews has some content, probably illegal, that would get him in trouble with, well, at that point, it wouldn't be with just Twitter. But these people, that's what they think about, because they don't actually care about children or anything like that being harmed. They're just thinking about Twitter, I guess. But they might fire back at me being like, oh, I'm just memeing Chibi right here. But as you can see, The thing about these like making jokes and all this stuff, like the more like virality you get, like the problem about these types of people is they actually command a large following. Like they have a lot of influence, right? So when I talk about bad influence, like I saw this trend on TikTok, galaxy gas, right? There's a certain types of people are using this galaxy gas, and a lot of people will also clown on them. They'll be like, ha, they stupid as hell, bro, they losing brain cells. The thing is, the more you talk about it, the more attention you give it, the more views, the more that stuff is actually gonna happen, right? You're basically gonna will it into existence, which is exactly what happened here. So when Chibi gets the death penalty for 2,500 gigabytes of Chris Paul videos on his hard drive, and then a couple hours later, this guy would then respond, he got doxxed, bruh. LMFAO. The Lord answered my prayers. Like, he's actually celebrating that he got doxxed. Like, it's like, just, can you believe it? Like, actually vile behavior. Which leads us back to the present day, which I'm literally just refreshing Chibi's account right now, and apparently they've been trying to hack into his social security number, or trying to get his social security numbers and hack into his social media accounts and posting content that would get him in trouble. They're literally intentionally setting him up on purpose. On top of all this wild behavior, like, let's just say Chibi Reviews is the worst person in the world. Why would you involve his deceased brother in all of this, right? That is absolutely vile behavior. I think I saw some footage, I don't know, photos, videos. I didn't look too much into it, but it probably was real because Chibi said they doxed his brother's grave. That is actually vile behavior. I don't think it's befitting of a, any like human being on the earth, like, so let alone assimilating it into anime society, anime culture. Like, this is why we have gatekeeping, right? This is how we have gatekeeping in real life as well. Now, despite the very obvious offenders coming from within certain bubbles of the anime community, certain demographics, certain very vile behaviors coming from these people, disrespecting the deceased, despite all that, something that really disgusted me at the end of the day, something that very bothered me, was that some people seemingly wanted to justify this behavior, right? Like, so there's this huge thread about these people, this guy Kazu here. Now, it seemed like they took the moral high ground. They were the fence sitters, right? That's basically, they're playing both sides. He states, getting death threats is not in any way supposed to handwave anything you say or do, man. So he's saying that's an excuse. Sorry you're getting those replies, and obviously I don't encourage that. Do you really think that? But you have this irritating habit of intentionally pissing people off, then playing dumb when they get pissed off. Okay. Now here's a huge, like, I want to say like 30 tweets of cope from this guy. He's just huffing the copium. But basically, I want to point out this one thing, okay? So I learned recently that a lot of liberals, these woke liberals, I'm not calling this Kazu guy one, although if you're a fence sitter, you're probably, leaning a certain way. These woke liberals, they actually don't know that in America, we have real freedom of speech. We don't have that fake freedom of speech where if you have a certain symbol on your shirt or whatever, you could get arrested or I don't know what, but like, we have a real freedom of speech. What I mean is we even have hate speech that's literally protected under the First Amendment. But apparently these woke liberals, they listen to politicians like Democrats, Tim Walz, who think that that's not allowed. So I don't know what. Now you're probably like, why am I bringing politics into this, and why am I bringing real life stuff into this? Because why am I? Because hear me out. So we're not even at that level yet. This is an anime that aired on national public television in Japan across major streaming services in America. Like, remember, and hate speech is literally allowed in America. And this is literally just an anime that appeared. You can literally talk anything you want about this, okay? I think a big problem I genuinely think a big problem is these people were born too late to experience Grand Theft Auto. So Grand Theft Auto 5, Grand Theft Auto 4, there was a gap for Grand Theft Auto 6. It hasn't come out yet. And I think that's actually a big problem because, hear me out. So a lot of them will be like, oh, fictional characters. What do you find entertaining about like this XYZ, like this? What do you find entertaining about like this character? What do you find so funny about this scene? Like, here's the thing. Like, if you play Grand Theft Auto, you know what I mean. A lot of you guys experience this, I'm sure. You take the car and you literally just drive it around the sidewalk everywhere. You be hitting people, running up a bounty, getting that streak going. You know what I mean? Like, getting that 1 million bounty over whatever it's called, like when it's like 2 red. When they start bringing in the helicopters. Okay, the thing is, they're gonna ask me that, like, what I just want to do it, okay? I don't know, like, I'm not gonna, does this make me a murderer in real life? Does this mean I'm gonna just run over 100 people on the street? No. If you were to ask me why, I don't know. I could theorize why. Maybe, perhaps this is so far removed from reality that this is like, because fiction is essentially escapism, this is basically so far removed from reality that it satisfies escapism. So that maybe that'd be my theory. You know, that's like I'm not gonna try to explain the reasons why. The main reason though that it is allowed is because it's not illegal. That's the main reason why any of this stuff is main reason why fiction is allowed, because it's not illegal. And if you want to censor fiction, you clearly have a problem. But I know these people like Kazu, they're not actually like those shonen people, but the way they think is basically like that. You could replace this Yuru Camp profile picture. It's like an absolute disrespect, but you could replace this with like Dragon Ball, and I wouldn't be able to tell it different because the way he acts, like, I know he knows about anime. He knows the general, like, he knows what it is. He knows what it is. Like, I clicked on it. I see a picture of Kisaki, okay? Kisaki from Blue Archive. Okay. Now, the only reason they're doing this is because of identity politics, okay? It's like voting for a candidate, like a presidential candidate, just because they look like you. Like, I gotta give these people the ultimate dilemma, okay? Like, what if there was someone, just imagine someone you hate, someone you think is very evil, like, I don't know, Adolf Hitler, and he got reincarnated into reality, into modern society, and you had like a glass of water and like a glass of poison or something like that, and he's like, oh, this is water, the water is wet, and this is like this, and would you, like, and it's clearly water, like, you can visibly see it's water, and then, but you being so blinded by your identity and your hatred, you just disbelieve him, even though it's clearly water, and you even have like the like pH testers for yourself, but you just don't believe him. Like, that's how crazy these people are. Like, I want to put these, like, another crazy dilemma is like a lot of these Western liberals, they're like pro LGBT. Did I already say this? I feel like I'm going in circles, but they would go into a country, they were pro Hamas in Palestine, and they're pro CCP in China. But the thing is, they go into those countries, they're not coming out because they're getting sent to like Ba Sing Se or something, because those countries are anti-pride and all that stuff. Like, the only reason they agree with those countries actually is because they share the same identity, which is the hatred towards the West and the United States. That's the main reason that those liberals like those places. Another cope that these fence sitters will have is they'll say stuff like, "Oh, these people, they're these cis, these phobes, they're starting things first." Blah blah. No, that's a load of bull. Okay, look, let's say. So I watched this anime, Senpai wa Otoko no Ko. It is clearly like some LGBTQ trash. And I say that because it literally is. Okay, it's probably not that bad. But the thing is, I dropped it 3 episodes in because it was so boring. Like, there was like some gay dude, some like cross-dresser, I don't know. I dropped it. But the point is, I didn't like go and attack it. And even if I did, like, even if like let's say a bunch of like actual racist people went in and attacked the show, or like some transphobes or whatever, some gay phobes, homophobes. First of all, no one's actually homophobic. These phobes, it's actually BS. No one's actually afraid. You really think they're afraid of okay, I'm not gonna say that. But no one's actually, I'm not gonna say that. Okay, but the point is, like, even if they were to attack that show, it would never even reach like virality like it does here. So in this case with Chibi Reviews, where he's clearly getting wrecked by getting doxxed and all this stuff, where people are like actually trying to justify it after the fact, fanning the fire even more, that wouldn't happen, right? It only happens this certain way, like where you're getting like tens and thousands of likes for pretty much justifying behavior that is vile. This type of stuff was not happening back in the day. And by back in the day, I mean just recently, a couple of years ago, because what happened was that the quarantine, because of the pandemic, you had a lot of these people with lower intelligence, and I mean that literally, because these are children, school-age children with their brains not fully developed yet, and these people, they would have hated themselves before. They like shonen fans. These shonen fans, they've been like, nah, bruh, that's weird. Even Dragon Ball. But eventually the goalpost shifted, and the shonens were cool. So the other anime, you know, those are the Diddy anime, though. Those are the Epstein particles. But like, you know, Naruto, One Piece, yeah, those are cool, right? So you have a flood of people coming in from this certain background, and instead of a trickle effect, right? Normally you have a trickle effect where a smaller amount of people essentially get assimilated into a larger population, and they'll know about the culture, they'll learn about it, and they'll adapt into it. But no, when you have a huge flood coming in, you're gonna start to change like a culture, right? And that's exactly what happened. Some of these people, especially being like, you know, school age, they're more, I guess, hip with the youth, you know, more urban. They essentially adopt this. Essentially becomes the Gen Z culture, right? And they have more influence among their peers, and they can create their own like echo chambers, and essentially they can very much change a culture. But as we've seen, they didn't really assimilate well into anime. A lot of them, not saying some of these new anime fans are very good, but what I'm saying is a lot of them are not assimilating very well, and I don't think it's just anime. They are not going to assimilate well into just human society. Any first world country or anything like that, I just do not trust them in society to have a position in like a job. I would not have them in my yeah. I just want to talk about this little story, you know, just because it's near the end of the video and you made it this far. So it's kind of crazy. Before all this Reddit and Twitter and TikTok and even like 4chan, My Anime List, whatever, think about places where you talk about anime. Now, I want to say like 10 years ago or something like that, one of the biggest places to talk about anime was actually bodybuilding.com forums. Yes, there was an actual anime forum there, and it was one of the best anime communities in the entire internet. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I'm pretty sure I learned about things like Kiss Anime from there. Like, you guys probably know what Kiss Anime is, of course. Learned all about like Nia and, you know, the cat website. I learned so many things just from that forum, and these were people like straight up bodybuilders. Like, I'm telling you, like, they probably won competitions. Like, a lot of them competed and stuff like that. Probably not, honestly, but a lot of them did. Like, there's actually pictures, like there's like statistics and stuff. Like, I would be able to show you, but the thing is, it actually closed down. The forum closed down recently, so that is actually kind of what brought this to my mind just now. So you'd have these people literally yoked out of their trees. Their backs were freaking like serrated and stuff like that, and they'd be talking about things like Non Biori, which is 2013, one of my favorite anime of all time. And this was literally a better anime culture than what we have now. Yes, literally a bodybuilding forum with an anime forum had a better anime community than what we have now. Like, what else was around then? I don't remember what, like, was Prison School then? I don't know. But people would be recommending stuff like Prison School and talking about how good it is, or like Shokugeki no Soma. They'd be talking about things like Hibike Euphonium. Like, it was actually like it wasn't just casuals. You think like bodybuilding forum, like, you think all they talk about is like Goku and like Bleach, or Bleach, no one was talking about it then, actually. But you think all they talk about is like Attack on Titan. No, no, no. They were talking about like Grisai no Kaijitsu. Like it was actually crazy. Um but nowadays you'll have people calling you, accusing you of crimes and like doxing you and all that stuff just for watching anime. The worst that could happen back in the day was someone would be like let's say you watch something like Angel Beats and then in the last episode you're like, "Bro, I cried." They'd be like, "Dude, you're gay." Okay. Like that literally be the worst that could happen. Wait, that's not actually not a that's not even what they would say. There was actually a word for it. Like, let me think. It's actually uh it's like you're a gooner, like not a gooner. Then you're, oh god, it was actually, it basically is like you're gay. It was like there was another word for it. It was like you're on that like XYZ times. I'm not gonna say it. Like you're on that times. You're on those times, bro. Like if you were, that's basically what they would say. But the thing is, you just leave it at that and you just move on with your day, and like no one would try to dox you or anything. No one would say you're doing anything illegal. No one would accuse you of being Epstein or whatever. They would just, move on, go on with their lifts, talk about like, I'm not even like, people would have their profile picture would be like themselves like shirtless, and then like their their head would just, they would Photoshop an anime like person on top of it. Anime is mainstream, widespread everywhere across all social media, and knowledge of it is easily accessible. But despite that, a bodybuilding forum had a better anime community over 10 years ago. Like, crazy how that is, right? Like, actually crazy. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts. Peace out.